So how in the world does a company generate over $40 billion in home loans when interest rates are sky high? Well, today we're going to break down how one mortgage giant did exactly that. And not with more people, but with an AI that, get this, makes phone calls. This is a story about a massive bet on technology that really paid off.
Okay, let's just start with the headline number because, wow, $41.7 billion. That's not the company's valuation or anything like that. That's the value of loans that one single company, United Wholesale Mortgage, wrote in just one quarter.
And to give you some context here, this was UWM's best quarter since late 2021, back when mortgage rates were at rock bottom lows. So to pull off a number like this in today's much tougher, higher rate market, yeah, that is a huge deal.
So, what was the secret sauce? How did they manage to capitalize so perfectly on just a brief little dip in interest rates? Well, their secret weapon wasn't some massive team of salespeople. Nope. It was an AI assistant, designed to do one simple but incredibly powerful thing: make phone calls.
So first up, let's really dig into what happened in this record-breaking quarter. Because this wasn't just luck. It was a perfect example of being ready when opportunity knocks.
But here's the really telling detail. It's where the growth came from. If you look at these numbers, purchase loans, for buying new homes, they were actually down a little bit. The entire surge, all of it, came from one place: refinancing. That part skyrocketed by 24%. And that tells you they were unbelievably good at reaching existing homeowners at the exact right moment.
And listen, this was no accident. The CEO, Matt Ishbia, said this was the plan all along. While all their competitors were scaling back, UWM was doubling down on technology, getting ready for what they called a rate rally. That's a short window and rates dip, creating this massive opportunity. And that investment was about to pay off, big time.
Now, to really get why their tech was so crazy effective, you have to understand this fundamental multi-billion-dollar problem in the mortgage industry. You could call it the forgotten client problem.
Okay, here's part one of the problem. After someone gets a home loan, an overwhelming 97% of them say they love their broker and they are absolutely 100% going to use them again. At that moment, loyalty is through the roof.
But fast forward a few years. When it's finally time to refinance or buy a new place, only about 10% of those same people can actually remember their broker's name. I mean, life happens, right? Memory fades, and that loyalty just, poof, it's gone. And that right there, that 87-point gap between what people want to do and what they actually do, that is a massive leak where billions and billions in repeat business just drains away. This is the exact problem UWM decided to go after with their tech.
So, how do you solve a billion-dollar memory problem? Well, let me introduce you to Mia, the generative AI assistant that is right at the heart of UWM's whole strategy.
And we're not talking about some clunky chatbot here. Mia is a voice-based AI that sounds and acts like a real human assistant. She makes outgoing calls, has natural conversations, can answer questions, and, this is the key, she books appointments directly on a broker's calendar. The whole process is actually pretty genius in its simplicity. First, the system finds a past client who could save a bunch of money by refinancing right now. Then, Mia calls them, but she introduces herself as calling on behalf of their original broker, which instantly closes that memory gap. She explains the opportunity and then schedules the follow-up. It's like a perfect little digital tap on the shoulder at the exact right time.
Okay, so that all sounds great on paper, but did it actually move the needle? Was it more than just a cool gimmick? Let's get into the hard data.
First off, just look at the scale of this thing. Since it launched back in May, Mia has made over 400,000 outbound calls. I mean, this isn't some tiny pilot program. It's a massive automated outreach campaign running around the clock for their brokers.
And this next part is wild. It even shocked UWM. They thought, okay, maybe 10 to 15% of people would even answer a call from a number they don't know. The actual answer rate? Over 40%. That's almost triple what they expected. It just proved the whole approach was way more effective than anyone dreamed.
But okay, answer rates are nice. What about actual business? What about the money? Yep, over 14,000 of those calls started by an AI have already turned into fully closed and funded loans. That's not just leads, that's real, actual revenue generated by an AI dialing for dollars.
And the CEO, Matt Ishbia, he puts it pretty bluntly.
He says that growth is the hardest problem for any company to solve, and he gives Mia direct credit for fueling that growth by plugging that forgotten client leak we were just talking about.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. UWM's big win isn't happening in a vacuum. It's all part of this larger battle for who gets to be king of the U.S. mortgage market, and it's mainly against their biggest rival, Rocket Mortgage.
You can see right here in the latest quarterly numbers, UWM is the top lender in the country by volume, ahead of Rocket. But the race is tight, and you better believe Rocket isn't just standing still. Their strategy for growth, though? It's completely different.
This slide really lays out the two competing philosophies perfectly. On one hand, you've got UWM making a tech bet, building their own tools like Mia to grow from the inside out. On the other hand, Rocket is playing an acquisition game. They're buying other companies, like the real estate brokerage Redfin, to basically bolt on market share and customer lists.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. You've got Rocket with this huge goal to double its market share, and you've got UWM fighting like crazy to defend its top spot. For us, for consumers, this kind of competition is actually great news. It usually leads to better rates and better service. But for the industry, it's this fascinating test. Which strategy is going to win in the long run?
And that really leaves us with this huge question, one that goes way beyond just mortgages. What's the better path to the top? Is it building the absolute best, most innovative technology from the ground up? Or is it strategically buying your way into dominance? The next few years in this showdown might just give us the answer.